Greetings, this is Dave with Ham Radio Test and Review. My call sign is N8DAV, and the motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. I'm out here this morning very early in the crisp morning air in my back deck out in Flagstaff, Arizona, and I have a new antenna to test for you today. It is the Diamond SRJ770SA. This is a long, you-know-what antenna, all right? So I'm going to be testing this today. It's very wiggly and whippy, as you know. That's not one of my favorite things about antennas. However, these diamond antennas usually do okay. All right, so here's the packaging that it comes in. And it's very nicely printed. Package is still nice and quality. And so I'll be getting with you in just a second with the specifications. Be right back. All right, I'm back. And once again, this is the test and review for the Diamond Antenna SRJ770SA. It's a dual band antenna for the 2 meter and 70 centimeter bands. It's 27.5 inches long. That's pretty darn long. My signal sticks are 19 inches, and I kind of think that they might be a little too long too. But the length of the signal stick makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure this one will too. It's made of plastic and rubber-coated whip, and it's center loaded. Yes, it does have a loading coil in the center. All right. So, it is a bit of a compromised antenna. However, we'll get to the rest of the specs here. Now, the one that I have here is SMA female connector, specified as 50 ohm impedance, and they don't specify what the SWR is on this antenna. They do say that it can take up to 20 watts of power, and it's supposed to have gain, and check this out, 2.15 dB gain on the 2 meter band, which is pretty normal, but 4.5 dB gain on the 70 centimeter band. That's huge. That's a lot more than most of the antennas. Now, is this antenna cut to a certain wavelength? Absolutely it is. They state that's a 3/8 wave antenna on 2 meter and 3/4 wave on the 70 centimeter band. Now, of course, that's with the coil, right? So remember, we got a loaded coil here. And they definitely do not state that it's resonant on any of the frequencies for obvious reasons. All right. So the last thing I will tell you is that it does not come with a rubber washer in it. I don't know why. Usually diamonds do, and usually the high quality antennas do. And this antenna was a little on the pricey side, $37.99 on Amazon, and you can find it, my affiliate link to the antenna in the description of this video. All right, so, one last thing I do want to tell you. The antenna does come broken in half with threaded, so the bottom part's not that long, and the top part's very long. All right, so that's how it comes. So it can be broken down into 2 pieces, so it's a little easier to store and to put away if you need to. All right. So when I come back, we'll get started on the testing. All right, I'm back. We are going to be doing SWR and power tests using my power SWR meter from Nissei on the Diamond SRJ770SA HT Walkie Talkie antenna. Now, the first test you're going to see is on the 2 meter band. Let's see what we get for an SWR. Oh, before I do that, always I make sure and test my antenna test bed every time before I use it to test an antenna that I'm doing a review on. I always use a signal stick because I can always get 1.02 or less on all 3 bands, which is the 2 meter band, the 70 centimeter band, and of course I always test on the GMRS band if it's capable of being going on the 70 centimeter band. So, and I got 1.02 to 1 on the 2 meter band and 1.01 or 1.00 on the 70 centimeter band and on the GMRS band. So now that I know my test bed is set up, I will put the SRJ770SA antenna on the test bed, and I'll be right back when we'll get tested. Here we go. This is the Diamond SRJ770SA antenna on the 2-meter band. We get an SWR of 1.19 to 1. All right, next up is the test of the Diamond SRJ770SA on the 70 centimeter band. You get an SWR of 1.63. And last but not least, we're testing the Diamond SRJ770SA on the GMRS band. This is channel 16, by the way. And we get an SWR of 1.76. All right, as I always do, I back up the power SWR meter readings using the NanoVNA, testing the exact same frequency band range, and then of course on the very specific channel that I transmitted on for each of the different bands earlier on the power SWR meter. All right, so I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to default to 2 meter, and we'll see what it says. All right, pause the sweep, and we're on 146.520, which is what we tested on with the power SWR meter, and we get an SWR of 1.534. All right, I've got this pre-calibrated, so we'll bring this up now to the 70 centimeter band. Interesting. And we got to bring this up to 446. And we have an SWR of 2.727. And last but not least, we will bring this up to the GMRS band. What did I put this on? I've got it at 430. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. This is on the GMRS band. And at 462.575, we have an SWR of 2.862. All right, next set of tests up is the field strength test. I run this test exactly the same way every single time with the exact same equipment. I use a Baofeng UV17 Pro GPS with a brand new, freshly charged battery. I use the Surecom SF-103 field strength meter. And I do this at the exact same distance every single time. The only difference is the antenna that I'm testing. So what I'll do is I'll jot down all the field strength results. And then at the end of the video, I will go over the field strength results and compare them to what other antennas put out. And of course, so later on in the video, I'm going to go out into the field, and we're going to see how well it does in a real world modulation distance test. All right, so here we go. This is on the 2 meter band. All right, now we're going to test the field strength of the Diamond SRJ770SA antenna on the 70 centimeter band. And last but not least, we are testing the Diamond SRJ770SA antenna on the GMRS band. All right, back on my deck, and beautiful weather. It's about 61 degrees out here, but it's just beautiful clear skies. No, not even a little puffy cloud anywhere to be seen. All right, so what did we learn today? First of all, I want to show you the antenna. And I want to let you know that this has been authenticated by Diamond as a real antenna. They have given me certain parameters in order for me to make sure that I don't buy anything but a true Diamond antenna. So if you're one of those people that tries to play the Diamond police, don't bother. I'll delete any post that you put saying that it's not authentic. It is. It's been authenticated, so just don't bother. All right, let's get back into it. All right, let me get my papers out here. All right. Now, as far as SWR testing is concerned, we got excellent SWR on this antenna. 1.19 on 2 meter, 1.63 on 70 centimeter, and 1.76 on GMRS. We got the NanoVNA pretty much backing up everything that we had going on. 1.534 on 2 meter, 2.727 on 70 centimeter, and 2.862 on the GMRS. Now, I consider anything under 3 for an HT antenna to be excellent, all right? I know a lot of you are going to disagree and say it's got to be 2 or less. These little HTs are tough. They're designed to take higher SWR readings on the antennas because they, typically HT Walkie Talkie antennas are not great with the SWR, but this one is great. The SRJ770SA antenna by Diamond. Excellent on the SWR. Now, it's a little different story on the what do you call it? On the field strength. All right. So on field strength, 2 meter, excellent. Can't do any better on 2 meter. 70 centimeter, also good. Not the best I've seen, but very good. And on GMRS, terrible. One of the worst I've ever seen. All right, but in defense of the Diamond SRJ 770SA antenna, it is not specified to work on GMRS bands. It's only specified for the 2 meter and 70 centimeter ham bands. So I got to give it some props. It worked really well on the SWR on all 3 bands. And it worked really well on the 2 meter and 70 centimeter band on the field strength, and not so good on GMRS. So if you want to try it, by all means, go ahead. This antenna gave me very good modulation, loud and clear, and little to no static on the transmission and modulation tests out in the field. This is probably one of the best antennas I've ever tested out in the field. However, just remember, it's 27.5 inches long and it's very wieldy. So just keep that all in mind. There's not any one perfect antenna, and you have to compromise no matter what you decide you want to do on any antenna. All right. So would I buy this antenna? Well, I did. And guess what? It's going to stick in my personal collection of antennas. I'm not going to give this one away. By the way, I'm thinking very seriously about starting to do some giveaways of radios and antennas, and I might offer that up to members only. If so, I might start a little membership, maybe $1 a week, $1 a month, I mean, and see, and that'll like enter everybody into a raffle for a radio giveaway and maybe a antenna giveaway. We'll see. I'm still debating. I'm not trying to make money off of this, but I don't want to try selling any of these radios or antennas. I'd rather give them away to people who really want them and can use them. And as a matter of fact, I have a good source to give them away to, but I've been giving them away to my local clubs, and I've been giving them away to my nephews that are also licensed hams. So I don't know. It's just something I'm trying to consider, and I figure $1 a month is not going to hurt anybody or for anything. So anyway, that's my opinion. My name is Dave. My call sign is N8DAV. I live here in beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. The motto for my channel is 1 test is worth 1,000 expert opinions, and this antenna tested out really well. All right. This is Dave saying 73, and so long.